Hi, I'm Sarah.
And hi, I'm Joleen.
Yay! Tonight we are talking about a Big Brother eviction, and we have Joleen with us. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for asking me, Sarah. I've missed you. I mean, we're
I
already
missed
so
you.
far into Big Brother, and this is our first. Is this our first collab of the season, or do we collab?
Well, yeah,
earlier?
we did the draft.
Yes, the draft
or the
that
pre.
I'm killing. No, I'm
not. You are in it, girl. You're in it. We'll have to pull up the draft points here in a minute. But hey, guys, in the chat, thanks for coming over. We're going to talk about this episode, but we also have the wall comp happening right now, which my internet looks wonky. Sorry if my lips don't look like they're lining up, but my computer's doing a lot right now. So we will be spoiling you all through this stream. If you're not in the mood for spoilers, then maybe this isn't the stream for you, but we're gonna do it. So first up, I think someone's falling right now. I also have Twitter telling me things that are happening. So let me tell you that Jasmine, we all saw fall first.
Yep.
Then Brittany fell second. Terrence fell third. Oh, Monty just fell.
What?
Did I miss Alyssa, though?
Alyssa fell already?
Twitter's telling me Alyssa fell.
Let me get on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Now they're saying, okay. Everything's
Alyssa?
a little off.
This is what you were born to do.
I know. I thought Alyssa might have this one.
Me too.
Well, Alyssa and Monty are out. So what does this leave us? I mean, I kind of feel like this is a Turner comp.
Turner or Taylor. I mean, Taylor is tall, so that could be harder for her. Turner, yes, young, smaller, closer to the ground, but Taylor or Turner. I'm hoping for Taylor, Sarah, because my dream is Taylor, and she gets to put Terrence and Jasmine on the block and then evict Jasmine on her birthday week.
I mean, it would be beautiful. It really would. If she's there at the end, I hope that someone can like throw it to her. If it's leftovers at the end here. Well, while that's happening, let's talk about this episode. We had an epic blindside. Well, not a blindside. We just had an epic eviction, I should say. He 100% knew what was coming. But here at the top of this episode, he's going to quote Dan Gheesling. How am I going to spin my way out of this one?
There were multiple Dan quotes, and I'm thinking production must be trolling him because he's the antithesis of Dan Gheesling. So they have to be trolling him, right?
Yeah. They're like, do you have more of those quotes? Who are the other? Like, what Houseguest? I feel like he keeps talking about his 10 years of work to get on this show. And I'm thinking now he was just collecting quotes in that 10 years.
And hitting submit. That, I mean, I feel like you have to prepare more than, like Sarah said, having, some quotes under your belt, knowing about Dan's funeral, but the execution, that's why Michael's goodbye message was my whole life and my whole heart, because from one super fan to another telling him, you are horrible at this game, sir. And not only are you horrible, but you're mean too. I'm still here. You could have worked with me in the beginning, but instead he wanted a super fan war, which to me made no sense. Because I feel like if we were in the house, I didn't know you, Sarah, I found out you were a super fan, I would be drawn to that.
Yes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Pair up with the super fan and like run the game. I think we saw a lot of insecurities, and he couldn't, handle having another super fan in the house. But yeah, unfortunately, Michael won that one. Okay, Jasmine's confused. Why would Michael pull Monty off the block? What? Let's do some math here.
Jasmine is lost. I mean, that whole other side of the house is lost. As much as Daniel wants to pretend he knew, he really didn't know for a very long time. And they did not know when they were having, it's always fun watching the edit, because when they were talking with Joseph, Daniel did in no way know in that conversation in the living room when Joseph's playing dumb that Joseph was on that side already.
Right.
I think they, questioned seeing them together, but they really did think Joseph was dumb.
Yeah.
So,
and they thought they had Joseph in their pocket, in their hands. Alyssa's going to steal Michael's cider. How much do you care about Alyssa and her twerking?
0. However, I do like to do impressions of it on my channel.
Yeah.
If you follow me, my last stream, I did do Drunk Alyssa because I enjoyed watching her be drunk. And the weird thing about Alyssa Drunk, Sarah, I don't know if you watched this, but she was actually pretty strategic for like a moment. For about 5 minutes, she was making sense. And I was like, oh, and then she's like, obviously I want a girl to win. I mean, clearly. I just like, and then she's like, just tell me about it. Just got a little bit. If you guys want to play, you should totally apply because it can happen to you. Like, I fell in love. I'm having the summer of my life and I'm twerking. And it's like, it's amazing. Don't tell Michael. It was a whole mess, but I love that they added the drunken segment because it was quite a segment because they ended up having conversations about relationships and whether men or women can be friends without it turning sexual. Right. It was like, and it was drunk Alyssa trying to make logic, and then Turner just like, dude, that is not facts and that is not fire. What are you talking about? Like, you can, opposite sex can be friends, like, doesn't matter your gender. Friendship transcends gender, bro. So I loved that. But the twerking I don't need, but Alyssa does, since early on in the season, think she's very good at twerking, Sarah. Very good.
Well, I haven't seen this because probably I turned it off, but has she twerked with Kyle? Because they're both big fans of it.
Well, they haven't twerked together, but she's definitely pushed it back, if you will, a little bit in a white bikini in the HOH room. In a 3-part series you can catch on YouTube if you missed it on the live feeds. So there has been some, I mean, she's definitely giving them the, check it out.
Oh yeah. Given something. All right, Kyle, the way they're going to edit this is that Kyle is like, oh, Alyssa went AWOL. Oh no. Got to go back to riding it with the leftovers now that I'm on the block. And Alyssa showed her cards. I guess maybe I'll back off. But like, as you just pointed out, would they back off for 5 minutes?
No, they've been rubbing a lot. There's been a lot of rubs and a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Just a lot of connection. So again, this edit was very interesting. Alyssa never believed Daniel for a second. She actually went right back to Kyle and told him and was like, right, that's stupid. And he was like, oh my God, are you insane? I would never. I was always going to use, I've never even said that. I was going to use the veto. Like, I already used the veto. Like, I love you.
Yeah, always.
But the edit of the show makes it seem, like she was actually, a little more, maybe she'll change her vote when she never had any intention.
No, of course not. I mean, they just love to make us think like, what's the vote going to actually be? But, no way. Daniel, okay. These players are scared, he says. Keep me around and I'll make big moves. And what I want to say to that is you were the very first HOH and you had the weakest weak sauce of an HOH. How dare you come at me with, I'll make big moves.
Sarah, not the weakest weak sauce. You are making Sarah come out. Like, Sarah is coming out on this one. And you're exactly right. You had the opportunity to set the tone of this game, sir. I hate when I see these first HOHs. And he said in his interview with Julie, one of his like big brother, bucket list goals was to be first HOH. What? To set the precedent that you were going to play crappy and that you weren't going to take out these big guys that later you would fault the house for not going after. So we see this happen so much with, I think, a lot of new school Big Brother players who think they know what they're doing. But it's like you had an opportunity to make a move, to set the tone. But instead, you're flirting with Paloma, picking on Taylor, and just being a creep overall, like not being a good player.
Yeah. We'll forgive a couple creepy things if you're a good player, and it just didn't.
A couple, yeah.
Dead and mash. I missed an opportunity to say, get my sauce.
Did you like that?
I loved it. I
I
can't
did
wait to
too.
say that for the rest of my career covering Big Brother.
I honestly love the song aspect of it.
Yes,
I just didn't like the roach. I didn't get the roach thing.
right.
Why
Just
couldn't
because
it
the
be anything else?
stagecoach is what they were going after. And so they said roach. And so we were all grossed out.
Yeah, the house is full of ants. Make it an ant.
Make it
Roach?
an ant. Yeah.
Like, make it anything else. Make it a country singer, a Big Brother country singer. I've been in the
Ooh.
house
Yeah.
working on my album,
Those were straight bops. I was here for it.
Mhm.
Whoever they hired to do that voice, before he even started singing, I was like, well, this is a better voice.
It was
And
good.
then he sang, get my songs. Alrighty. Okay. Daniel's got a plan. He's got to get Alyssa on board, like we already covered. It wasn't going to happen. But hey, thank you for trying. You know what? Thank you for trying. He does his best with Kyle's not really got your back. And she's like, oh my God, for a second.
Yeah, for a second. But no, it's too late. I mean, Daniel, he sunk his game very early on. He's overly emotional. I have, an emotional player is fine, but when you're emotional and mean, and when you're prone to yell at the women more than you are the men, I mean, it's a problem. And so you bring that to the table with poor execution of strategy, you're not going to last long in this game. You alienated yourself from the rest of the house. You insulted people. There was nothing that was, I don't know if I'm being blunt enough for you guys, but there was nothing that was likable about you. So yeah, I mean, last ditch effort. The fact that he and Terrence thought this week, especially Terrence, I mean, oh my God, that edit yesterday.
Terrence.
Wow. Fool.
What he waited, 5 weeks? How many weeks are we on here? And he was so back and forth, couldn't pick a side. And then right when Nicole's going to go out is when he's like, you know what? Nicole and Daniel, that's where it's at. And then he hitched it all week to Daniel. But please tell me why.
It was so stupid. I think just they connected honestly on a level of hatred for Taylor. I think they both really, with Nicole as well. The three of them, you can find them throughout the summer so far on the feed saying the most horrendous things about this woman with little to no, I mean, there's no justification for it, but with no provocation or whatever. Like, what did she do other than exist? And then you just see the slut shaming, you see the name calling, you see all these things. And it seemed like they bonded over slut shaming, which is interesting. And also them being the oldest in the house, and that being something you and I know from our generation, we didn't even know that was a thing. And then the newer generations educated us that, we have rights and you can't, do that to us. And that was nice.
No, I am disappointed that the older people can't get it together. But I do want to tell you, someone else has fallen from the wall, and it is ND. She is off. She was another person I thought might do well with this.
What do you think of the indie casting?
That's just leftovers. Leftovers have it locked. What do I think about indie casting?
I think the casting of indie.
I think it was a great idea to give us some international flavor. I think we've been lacking some international flavor. But she unfortunately has given us nothing.
Nothing. I don't even think she cares if she's there.
I don't think so either. I'm thinking she wants to be like a big Big Brother player. Like, this is her step onto that. But you've got to be a big character to be on BB Brazil, right? From what I hear.
Yeah.
They were taking her.
How she explains it, you do have to be. And that's pretty much all she talks about is wanting to be on BB Brazil. Every season, I always think of a couple people. Last year was like Derek Frazier. I think Frenchie too. But yeah, who I just know, Brent, I think Brett or Brent, whatever his name was. Just, I always have a couple people where I'm like, what was the point? I see maybe what you were hoping this person would do,
right?
But they totally dropped the ball and did not deliver. And she's one of the biggest disappointments to me because I thought I am going to love her.
Right? Yeah, no, she's a big time disappointment. She's not on the show. And she's not even given us, I mean, she's definitely not giving us anything good in the feeds.
Mm-mm.
She's mean. Did Daniel really start his speech off with "I'd rather go spend time with Paloma"?
Oh my God. Wait till he reads Twitter and finds out what a creep we think he is, that he's 35, almost 36, obsessed with a 22-year-old he knew for 7 hours. Like, that's weird.
I mean, I'm prepared to tell him that Paloma was the one who lied, not Taylor. And then when he said that in his speech, I was like, you are triple downing how embarrassing this is for you. What?
It was so cringy. It was so cringy, Sarah. The fact that this guy can get to that age and not realize how odd that looks. The fact that we barely remember her other than she tried to ruin the game early on. But she's been gone for a long time. She's 22. And he's held this grudge against Taylor for something she didn't even do. And then has pushed Paloma's mental health crisis onto Taylor, and he's still obsessed. And I'm going to just say this because I know that Paloma's parents are fans of Nerdtainment. Temporary restraining order. You need a TRO. You got to get it now against Daniel Tiger. It's very.
Okay, first off, I hope that's a joke. Paloma's, I don't know who Paloma's family is.
I don't know if they're fans. I'm just making stuff up here for fun. But
I was like, no, don't watch my show. No, but yeah, they should definitely keep their eyes and ears open for Daniel. I think that a Daniel speech could have been completely iconic had it come out of almost anybody else's mouth. Like he pointed out that Michael is a comp beast. Yes, absolutely. Do these things. He said the game was going to get boring. Unfortunately, that is incorrect, but I appreciate you trying. Unfortunately, the damage is already done for Daniel.
Yeah, I don't understand that speech other than very bitter, very, very bitter, petty, and it just shows again how much you don't know about this game because these people, you're outing Daniel, but they're all working with him and they know that. And they know his strength. That's why they're working with him now.
We have another person who fell.
Please don't say Taylor.
No, it's Turner. Turner fell. That means we have Taylor, Joseph, and Kyle left on the wall.
Oh my God,
Joseph, I feel like, would throw this to Taylor. Kyle needs to drop. Joseph will throw this, right?
He will not. Kyle will not throw it. He will not. I think Joseph might for Taylor because it's kind of how he plays his game. No, don't tell me. Taylor, hold on.
Okay, no, we're good. No, they're good. Okay.
So Kyle is going to hold on for dear life. I'm surprised, but he is lanky, but then that does kind of work against him. But okay. Joseph, I think for his game, and since we did get an 8-1 vote, then he still can play that kind of, I'm not really technically with them. So to win and show all his cards now might not be great.
I don't think Joseph wants this. He's so perfectly in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll probably
Joseph just fell.
Joseph just fell. Sarah called it.
Okay, Kyle versus Taylor.
Oh my God.
Kyle versus Taylor, you guys. Like you said, Kyle's probably not going to throw it, but
no, because he wants to. I bet you if Kyle wins, this is the week he takes a shot at the leftovers as he's been talking about and pulls Alyssa, Jasmine, and them. I just have a weird feeling. I mean, it's not that weird because he's talked about it on the feeds and he's been trying to push that, but luckily Brittany shut it down.
I didn't think that Kyle is brave enough to do it himself. You think he would make the move himself? He seems so scared.
If he's HOH and he can get the numbers on his side, because Terrence, if he gets Terrence, Jasmine, Alyssa, I mean, I guess you still have the numbers are still on the leftover side, but now that we don't have the Festy Bestie twist, however, then Julie Chen throws in this thing that we're going to have two sides of the house. Does that mean there's going to be two HOHs?
Yes. What are we got to talk about that.
I'm confused. I'm confusing myself.
I'm very confused. It doesn't start till Thursday, but it includes a double eviction. I'm not sure what the heck she means.
I bet you
they're going to split the literal house. She said they're not even interacting. So how are we having two houses?
That is so BB UK, BB Australia of them, to kind of separate people in separate rooms, don't you think? Then something that for that period of time where you're playing two separate games. So we could, in fact, maybe next week see two HOHs, right? And then split the house. Each of those sides compete for HOH. Then you have someone on the blog. They do their own evict. Could they do that? Do their own eviction?
Wait a minute. Hold
Kyle's
on.
down?
Wait.
Oh my God, my dream's going to come true that Jasmine has to go home on her birthday.
Taylor is the HOH.
Oh my God, I don't want to forget too much.
Taylor is
thank the Lord.
Mofo HOH, you guys.
I have chills.
She is crying on the mats.
I wish you could show us. Oh my God, she deserves this so much. She's had such a hard week and she's coming to terms with all the things people have been saying to her and processing it.
Right? She's had a really hard time even getting Daniel out. Like, she's still crying. She's still crying, you guys.
And seeing the people that supported Daniel Tiger, despite how he treated her, that was a really hard thing she had to deal with. How much they stood for her, stood for him, but let her get crapped on. So she needs this so bad, and she deserves this. She earned it. I'm so happy for her. Why are the dogs on the feeds? I love you, dogs. You're cute, but get out of here.
Those are cute dogs. But yes, they cut away probably to tell them to move along. Amy, thank you for the super chat. Yes, Taylor, take the money. Take it, girl. We're so excited. Yeah, I mean, she knew that Daniel was going. She was so happy to get rid of him, but still all the emotions of just what he put her through and how,
they make a deal?
Nobody shut him down. She had to endure it and, take the high ground. And so I bet this is a lot of emotion to just release. It
has to be. Coming from a place where you were ostracized for so long, you constantly try to just fit in, be in a group. The Leftovers does take you in, which is great. You plan this big alliance. You guys are doing things, but you still have these people you thought would stand up to things that are, wrong. And then they don't. And instead they're like basically crying over this Daniel Tiger. You can't get him out of the house. It doesn't seem like. And now you're going to run this place. And oh my God, get your butter beans, Jasmine. I hope Jasmine goes on the block. Sarah.
I think Jasmine's going to be a have-not because she was the first to fall.
Are we still having have-nots?
Well, I don't know, but BB usually likes to do that with the wall. The first 3 or 4, they automatically make have-nots. So someone else won't even get to choose or anything. That would be the best. Rick Fountain, thank you for the super chat. Get you some lays.
Get you some lays and some butter beans.
You some lays. All the lays you want, Taylor, this week.
I'm looking at your chat. I want to highlight things because Reese put, Terrence and Jasmine on the block. And I'm like, hell yes. And I wonder if her and Kyle, did you hear any conversation between the two of them at all? Any kind of deal?
They were close, and it could have happened because I do have the volume kind of low. So
wow. Okay, I'm watching her fall now. I want to see her. Oh my God. Taylor, yes. And she gets a letter from people who love her and care about her, and going this long in a house with these people who are horrendous and treating her horribly. And she has such grace and empathy for these horrendous people. And now she gets to hear from people who love her. Oh, she is crying. Yes. I'm going to cry. We're all going to cry.
If you don't know, it is Jasmine's birthday coming up. And for her to be a have-not or on the block or both is going to be...
seriously, I'm going to cry. You know me, Sarah. I'm going to cry.
Yes, you have a heart, and it's so lovely. This is really, really good news.
Oh, my gosh.
Should I tell Kyle in the morning who am I talking to?
You have to talk to Daniel. Oh, cancel.
Should I tell him that Taylor's the HOH?
Yes, you should. What are you going to ask, and how do you know what you can ask? Do you have to get your questions approved beforehand?
I don't. I just try to be professional. But they are listening, and they can jump in at any time and cut me off. Yeah. Or say, you don't have to answer that or something like that.
Because your Nicole interview was Bravo, friend. Bravo.
Thank you, my love. Thank you.
You're like, I apologize having to say this, but these are your words. Okay, let me continue. I was like,
I was planning on saying the quote, and then in the moment, I felt bad for the PR people listening, and that's like honestly who I was apologizing to. In the moment, I was just like, so sorry.
It was just a classy drag of her own words. You were just pointing a mirror at her. I love it. And now talking about this week, Jasmine's birthday, she has already made requests to production that she wants an ice cream cake. Well, that cake is going to melt because when is her birthday?
Well, I don't know which day. I have it written down.
Her cake.
But if she's a have-not right now, she's not going to be able to have that cake.
Oh, well, they might make an exception. They've done that before, I think, right?
I don't remember. Diana Lee, thank you. Yes, let's celebrate the Taylor HOH. This is very exciting. I didn't know if Taylor could do it because she is tall, but she pulled it out. Thank goodness the leftovers took it at the end anyway.
Right? Can you imagine? Indy and Jasmine and parents are going to be so mad.
They're going to be so mad, but you know what? Win a comp.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what else to tell you guys, but y'all are acting like you don't have to win comps in this game.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay. Well, back to this episode. Kyle doesn't give us a speech. He says, "Hey, hope you keep me," and no one's going to do it except for Terrence, who again hitched his wagon to Daniel. Why are you on a sinking ship, buddy?
He's just not smart, not a good player, horrible pick for the season. He is another one where I'm like, I don't get it. We can have more age diversity instead of one 47-year-old who I heard more horrific things he said on the feed today. And I was just like,
yes, it is concerning. All right, we're going to get all the votes here. Everyone's going to vote Daniel out except for Terrence. Are you making a point? I don't know. Daniel tries to make a big exit, but did you notice that Turner was like, I don't care, I'm going to the kitchen?
No, I missed that. Oh my God, I did not think I was going to like Turner. I was like hating on Turner preseason, like, oh my God, here we go, whatever. And I have to eat my words because he's wonderful.
I mean, to be fair, his pre-interviews were awful. And I mean, that's all we had to judge him by, but turns out so entertaining in the house. Daniel tried to do like a Cody show here of an exit. Most of the house didn't care, and then Turner just like squeezed by and just walked to the kitchen.
That's like a Lamar Odom. I feel like when he's like, why are we crying? They're not dead. What do you care? They're just going home. You're going to see them again. I love that kind of energy. I do think we're very lucky that Poochie went home, because had Poochie still been in the house, I don't think Turner would have had the evolution that he's had.
Yes.
In this house.
I agree. Right? Turner really got to shine once Pooch left. Jay, thank you for the super chat. Gotta wait. Jasmine's not out yet. Hold on.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. She literally stood on that wall in tonight's episode until Julie's like, good night, Houseguest. And then she was like, okay, I'm done. And she just dropped down.
Do you think she thought that the television show was over? Like, was she just not wanting to fall on TV?
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna look like I'm trying. Mm-hmm. Can you hand me that? I'm surprised she didn't ask someone to lift her down. Like, yeah, I was surprised.
Like, can you bring my scooter? Like, right, just park it under me, and I'll just fall into it. No, yeah, that was just like the weirdest step off. We're like still on air, if that's what you were.
And they're like, "Are you okay, Jasmine?" She goes, "I'm okay. I'm fine. I feel fine. I feel good. I just don't want to do this."
A hip. I thought you were going to hurt your other leg.
I have never.
Stepping on a mat. We'll just take her out.
Take her out. Take her out, Sarah. It took her out. Oh my God. And they had to take her scooter.
Thank you for taking the scooter. What do you think about these goodbye messages?
I lived for them except for Joseph's. What are you doing? I know that they pick and choose what they can put on. They have to include one nice thing. But Joseph, you were there. You saw the confrontation with Taylor. I understand maybe they didn't want it to be a pile-on, but why not? Taylor's been piled on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this guy is 35. He should be able to handle it because he dealt this out. So I didn't like the fact that that Joseph did say, I know you have good intentions, because Joseph knows he doesn't have good intentions, but I will give Joseph a break because it was probably influenced by production.
Joseph is a Pisces moon, and Pisces are some of the most nurturing, caring, intuitive people. And that's why he's such a kind person in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see that he would be the one person to say nice things.
Because he did. And then it threw off the balance of, I was like, yes, get him. And then he came and I was like,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's nice, Joseph. I love good people, sure, but not today. Not today. I don't need a good person. But Michael's was so good. Taylor's obviously chef's kiss, not cop chef, but a real chef's kiss to that one. How she was, I guess you won't have to talk to me until eviction or till finale
night. That's right. He said, I don't want to talk to you till finale night.
Yeah.
Okay. Done.
Everything St. Michael from St. Michael has done with this HOH, as far as burning and digging, Daniel has been perfect, from using the same speech he gave to Taylor to then his goodbye message, including his horrendous behavior toward this woman. And so I think, a lot of us, as we watch this, and whatever my moon tells me that I'm going to get kicked out of the house. And if I see that happen, I'm going to jump on it. Because I don't remember what my moon is, Sarah, but it's something. I told someone I was a Scorpio moon, and they looked at me like they wanted to run away. So
yeah, it's a tough one, but I do think it is you. I think you're a Scorpio moon. And that is your emotions, though. I mean, but they will also stab you, which you'll do.
Like, I feel like I would have been stabbing in that situation. So there was a lot of judgment for everyone, and I myself too, of why didn't someone say something? And then I remember we are still in a game. People are afraid. All these factors that I think, it's easy to say when you're outside of the house, but I do it in my real life, so I feel like I would say something. But I think with St. Michael from St. Michael, he will get you in a way that it'll really hurt. So I'm in that moment like, what did you just say? I'll tell you off. But he'll go, oh no, I'm going to win stuff, and then I'm going to ruin your dreams. So you're going to think you were a super fan, but not only am I going to take that from you, but I'm also going to make you look like a failure and tell America you were a failure and throw your words back in your face. Bye. What's his moon?
Michael's?
Mm-hmm. I'm fascinated by this, even though I don't really know what it means, but I love it.
Right. By the way, her the 17th. What day is the 17th? That's what's her name's birthday?
She's 6 months from my birthday, because I'm February 17th.
She's your half birthday.
Oh, she is.
Michael's moon is we don't know. It's either Capricorn or Aquarius.
Michael's?
Yeah.
Ugh. I mean, the weird clothing, probably Aquarius. Since I'm an Aquarius, I can vouch for that. But I feel like we know how to put our eyeshadow on better than he does. So.
Oh, but you're talking about Daniel.
Oh, Daniel. Oh, I'm talking. Oh, Michael. Okay. Yes.
You might. Is that why you like? Because you're Aquarius, you might have that connection. No, Daniel is a Cancer moon, and that's a different story. He's a Sagittarius sun, though. That's like me, which I can understand. Our mouths get us in trouble. You got to have something going on up here to help what spews out of our mouths, because something's going to spew out of our mouth. You just want it to be thought through.
It's so funny because I could never see you acting like, knowing that you were so close to being cast on Big Brother in the past, I could never see you acting like Daniel ever.
Well, he's got a Cancer moon and I do not. Cancers are emotional people, and we can definitely see he played emotional. I like that Michael in the goodbye message was like, from one super fan to another, your game sucked. And I was like, that's so valid.
So good, so deserving, so all of the things. Michael has been another one, much like Taylor. He has been very calm, cool, collected, empathetic when he needed to be, but paying attention. It's just like Taylor and Michael are both players that they know what's going on. They're just choosing to respond better. They're choosing to be mature in themselves. Right. And that's something that a lot of these, house guests can't do. So it was great to see him, and I think after he found out, after Joseph came upstairs, and, I think Kyle too had told him that these people on the other side were really gunning for him, and Brittany, and pointing out his wins. I think that really put a fire under his little Minnesota butt, and he was like, that's it. I'm coming.
Yep. That's right. Well, he'll be protected this week because he protected Taylor. Taylor will protect him. So that will be lovely and interesting. Julie says Bessies are over. We say thank you very much. And then she says, let me tell you about this other twist. And I don't fully understand it. Hopefully we get more information. But it seems like this week is going to be normal. It will be next Thursday that we split the house in two. And then she said, which culminates into a double eviction. So I don't know, is next week a double eviction, or do we split the house in two next Thursday and that leads us into a double eviction? That I was unclear about.
I honestly think it's going to be, they're going to break up the house. They won't even see each other.
Yeah.
So one side of the house, and they're each going to play their own separate games. The double eviction will be that one side evicts someone, the other side evicts someone, then they come together. Who did you evict? It's almost like on Survivor when you see people go home and then the other tribe watches like, oh my God, where's Ralph? And like, they got rid of Ralph,
But are you saying that happens on Thursday? Because then we'd have a triple basically, because this week.
Not this Thursday, right? Because you said it doesn't start until, I'm assuming till after this HOH reign is done. And then Thursday, once Taylor gets rid of Jasmine, then they say, okay, house guests, here's you go, here's these people go here, you go here and play your game. And
how are they going to split the kitchen? How's this going to work? This is interesting. Right? I get excited about twists. I know you guys all hate them, but I get excited until, further notice. But I'll give it a second. The bestie twist didn't upset me. We'll see how this goes. But that means Jasmine or Terrence, whichever one goes, is going to sit in the jury house by themselves for a week.
Oh God, I hope it's Jasmine. No, because that's what they've been saying on the feeds and on Twitter. It's like, then no one's going to be there to do anything for her, to pick up her fork when she drops it, get a napkin when she drops it, listen to her stories that she tells over and over again,
sweep
as Turner says.
Glass when she breaks it. Yeah.
I mean, hear about poo-poo. Did you, Sarah, I have to get your reaction on this. What did you think? Now, we're both married ladies, What did you think about Jasmine going underneath the covers with Indy to tell her, allegedly, Jasmine has a crush on Joseph?
I mean, girl, I don't blame her. I would have done the same thing. I know we want to jump on Jasmine, but have you seen Joseph? And just because you get married doesn't mean you stop having eyeballs.
For sure. I agree with that. But the going under the blanket in the very immature middle school, just say it. Like, he's attractive. Yeah, I'd have a crush on him even though I'm married. Yeah. Just say that.
Yeah, you got to say it like that. Like, if I were serious about it, which it kind of seemed like she was because she went under a blanket, then I'm not going to say anything, right? If I'm like, oh no, I want to pounce on this person. I am a married woman. I'm in trouble. I'm not going to say that out loud so that everyone can hear it, including my husband, right? Yeah. Twitter is alerting all husbands at this point.
More like torrid, the fact that she went under the blanket to say it, like, does she love him? Like, I'm just like, what is going on? Poor poo-poo. It was just his birthday week. How dare you do poo-poo like that? That really got me. And the irony, the hypocrisy of the fact that this is the woman who is like, we got a girls alliance. We're not including Taylor because she's just here for the guys. And I am a girl. And she's out here showing this and that and this and that and the other thing. And she's flirting with all the guys. And then we have her who has admitted now to Turner on the live feed saying, I'm actually not a girl's girl. I don't get along with females. She called women, there's always a problem when women refer to each other as females. That means they don't like you. I get along better with guys, like my husband's friends. And then she has a crush on Joseph. So it's like, this all makes sense, which we already knew. It's all about jealousy and that. But I'm just like, oh my gosh. Jasmine.
Well, and speaking of jealousy, like, Indy also has a crush on Joseph, and she is so also jealous because, well, Joseph's just in the perfect spot in this house. Everyone is distracted by his beauty and his kindness, but that's also Taylor, and he gives Taylor a lot of attention too, which does not make Indy happy.
No, Taylor was on the feeds and she was like, frustrated and airing her frustrations. Like, she's like, I made a genuine friend in the house, being Joseph, and I can't even hang out with him because she said Indy literally walks up and pulls him away. It's like we're dealing with toxic middle schoolers. It's really crazy. And then you have Indy, who is a whole 30-some-year-old woman who's out here disparaging the other women's looks and saying Brittany has an ugly face. And I'm like, Brittany's gorgeous.
Brittany's beautiful. Stop the slander. And also, why would you just say anyone's not attractive? Like, why do you even say that?
Exactly.
Like, who sits around and is like, she's not pretty? I can't relate. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I just want to gossip with you forever, Sarah, and get all your thoughts about what people are saying and doing in the house.
Yes, I do. We haven't done this all season, so we have to catch up on all the butter beans. So we don't understand the twist fully, but that we have good guesses on that. Then the rest of the episode was just the wall. Why were they wearing tinfoil hats? Whatever. Do you feel like the comps have just dialed down their quality?
Yes, this is the first time with OTEV that I found it very easy. And I don't know if that was just because of the songs. And I remember things better in song. And right away I was like, oh, mermaid comps. Yep. Get my songs. But I will say tonight, I got excited because Julie Chen said it's a conspiracy. And I thought the famous conspiracy, I was like, oh, it's hashtag Helen was pushed. It's Helen's going to show up. Helen was pushed. No, we're talking about real boring conspiracies. I want big brother conspiracies.
Yes.
And we didn't get it. There's so many opportunities. That's why they have to hire us, because I feel like they really do need fans of the show working in production. Because I think everyone now is just like, I don't really like this show. I don't really like it.
Yeah, sure. The tinfoil hats were a thing, but they look cheap. They look silly. Nobody who's watching the show gets it. Right?
Like,
I mean, we get it. Our generation and above maybe gets it, but the youngins don't get it. Yeah, they just look like Hershey Kisses. But whatever, doesn't matter. Taylor wore it beautifully, and then she won HOH. So that's all that matters. We're going into jury. Did we say that? Yay, congrats.
They were so excited for that extra 25 G's.
You gotta love money.
Ooh, ask Daniel about that. Say, knowing that Julie Chen announced as soon as you left that the Houseguests were going to jury, and your part of your campaign speech to Michael was that you have $400 in your bank account. Is that hard to live with, knowing you missed $25,000? And why eyeshadow now? Can I write your questions down, Sarah? And
please submit.
And why no blending?
You know, he's a performer. You learn these things when you have to go on stage. I'm not opposed to any eye makeup on a gentleman, but the blending is something I had to learn.
No, I like eye makeup on a gentleman. I feel like you just have to learn how to do it. With Daniel, I think he was trying to give us like an Elvis outgoing, maybe. Sure. I don't know. Have you seen his Elvis pictures?
Probably not. I don't know. No. Joleen, I just double checked the draft here for you. You are at 0 points.
Oh, good. Wow, I'm really killing it. Who's winning?
So you're out of the negatives.
You picked some good picks. Have any of your people went home? Who'd you have?
No, I have Kyle, Daniel, and Jasmine. So I just lost Daniel, and I'm okay with that. He gave me a lot of points while he was here. Jessica is killing it because she has Michael, and Michael is winning the most points right now.
What do you think of that? With how many, do you think every win that St. Michael from St. Michael has won, do you think it was necessary?
No, of course not. Not necessary. But I do feel like this past week, they weren't as unnecessary as people were like, really, like, you didn't have to win. But he did, like, winning HOH was understandable because he and Brittany were genuinely the targets for the other side. And then he was considering going after Monty, so he didn't want that trio to win the veto. So I kind of understand why he felt like he needed to win this veto, even though he technically didn't need to win. But so I don't.
That makes
Not
sense.
as mad as other people seem to be.
No, people seem to be very upset about it, but I feel though, it does, that first week or that first couple weeks does set precedent over how comfortable you feel in the house. And we see that whether you feel overly comfortable, that could be a detriment to your game. And then, him not feeling comfortable at all. I think that made him go, all right, well then I guess I have to win to secure my safety, because I don't have it right now on a social level. And these people are just going to throw me up like I'm some kind of pawn. So I got to prove to them I'm not one to be messed with. So
yeah, he definitely had to do that early on. And he's going to now be a target, obviously. So he just has to win out. Unfortunately, that's the game he was given. It wasn't his choice to be a nominee in Target the very first week. He had to do that,
Do you think it's going to be like a Janelle kind of history in Janelle in BB6? Do you think he's headed for kind of that fate?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, we did see Kevin pull out an unbelievable win in Canada this past season.
Right? Yeah.
So it's certainly possible that Michael can pull it out, because he is a very well-rounded player, right? Like, he's good physically as well as he's smart. He knows this game. Like, those in-game comps he's going to be very good at. He also knows to surround himself with people who are not as good at comps. Like, he could set himself up really nicely here at the end. But more than likely, someone takes him out at like third or fourth.
Who's your ideal, well, not counting your team that you have, your draft team, who's your ideal final three at this point?
None of my draft team is my ideal final three.
Are you sure, Jasmine?
Yeah, pretty sure. Although I do think Jasmine will probably be dragged till final three unless they get her out this week, because she has made some enemies this past week. I want Brittany, Michael, and Taylor as final three, 100%. That's my crew right there.
Yeah, I have to agree. I know some people would throw Joseph in there.
Sure.
But Joseph, very deserving. But it would be nice to see the three of them, because I feel as far as Outcast goes, those are the three leftovers. The rest are just surrounding players. I mean, Turner, I guess I would be fine with Turner as well.
Yes.
But Turner was a little insulated with Poochie, being with Alyssa. But really, if you want true underdogs, Michael, Brittany, Taylor were the underdogs of the season. And what a way to end this season. I know we're a long way from that, but it would be really poetic if it could be those three.
I mean, I think Michael is a very deserving winner. I really like Joseph and Turner as well. That would be a great top five, final five. Who are you? Who's your final three?
Same as you, Sarah. Yeah. Same. But with a swap out, if it's as long as Taylor's there.
Yeah.
And Michael's there, I'm good. Or even just Taylor and Brittany. As much as I love my fellow Minnesotan, I have to always be like, Michael, I love you. Shout out to Hayden, his husband, who hopefully is following me on Twitter now. He says he's going to watch me, or his fiance, I should say. But I hope that it would also be cool, because I really liked I'm looking at it as strategic and also in a little bit emotional, in that this friendship that has formed between Brittany and Taylor, hopefully, who knows what can happen now when we're starting, cutting each other's throats in this game, but just the honesty and the vulnerability they've both shown, and Brittany coming forward and apologizing to Taylor a while back for not saying anything in those rooms where the women were just disparaging her so much, and just how they've been able to kind of lean on each other and are really the only, two women in the leftovers, and have really felt left over throughout this game. So
yeah, they both were treated horribly and ostracized, and I mean, Taylor far worse, but Brittany got a handful of it, and they have definitely bonded over it, and it is lovely to see the apologies and the connecting and the understanding of each other. And they did talk about like, hey, this house doesn't like us. If we make it to the end, we don't get votes unless we sit next to each other. And I was like, yes, this is
I loved that conversation. So smart.
Right?
So smart.
It's kind of accurate, unfortunately, but at least you can be aware of it. And so if those two ladies cut Michael or Joseph or Turner or whoever at final three and took each other I would be over the moon about it.
Right. It kind of reminded a little bit of like June Allison, even though personality is very different, but you
Yeah.
have two women at the end that the House doesn't want to vote for either.
Yeah.
So that could be like the new school of that. Yeah, just I don't know. I'm with you. I just really appreciate their friendship for one another because we've seen such poor behavior from a lot of people in this house, but it's very disappointing being a woman and watching women treat each other this way for no reason other than the approval of men. And
Or just like that's
insecurity.
genuinely who they are, I guess.
Yeah, I know. Well, it always comes down to competition. I feel like, within society, we're conditioned from day one to compete and to, we can't work together because if we do, we will run the world. And people fear us and our covens, Sarah. But, it would be beautiful.
If we ran the world, it would be amazing.
Right. Support your local boss woman. Yes. And Tilly. Right. She's a woman too. She is a woman.
And the kitty cat.
Okay, you gotta let me look at her. She's like,
no. We have quite the YouTube community because Joleen wanted to support other YouTubers. We used to all just be individual channels out here just trying to get through a day. And then Joleen was like, hey, let me support some people. She started doing shout outs. This was years ago. And now we're all connected. And, if there's just new people, I just want to let them know if they don't know this. But like, that's why we all are friends and talk and go on each other's shows and, tweet. And it's because of that.
Thanks, Sarah. That is so sweet of you. I mean, I remember watching Nerdtainment and watching you and David. I thought you were married at first. Boy, was I wrong. And, but I don't have the best reads on things all the time. And I watched Maddie and Janet, obviously RHAP. I saw Busy Blue. And once I came into the community, I was like, I want to try to make friends. And also like, I really was fans of all of you. So I want to give shout outs and I want to continue to do that. And I feel like it's a new community of Big Brother creators where a lot of us, not everybody, but I would say 95% of us really want each other to succeed because there's room for everybody and there's definitely room for more diversity. And I'm seeing so much more diversity in people covering this show and talking about topics that maybe you and I, we aren't necessarily the voices for,
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool. But thanks for mentioning that. It feels like a forever ago when you invited me to your house and we had
I know.
And we watched
crazy person. I invited you over. Look, we're all bonkers over here. That's right. Yeah. You just got 25,000 subscribers, which is absolutely incredible. What an achievement. That's so amazing. Because I think years ago when you did that shout out, you were at like 5,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I remember being at like 5,000 yesterday. You're about to hit 8. Like you are so close to 8,000. Everybody is growing this year.
That's right.
No, Sarah, you're an affiliate with CBS. You're friends with Amazing Racers. You're interviewing all these people. You're attending the parties. You are doing the dang thing. So let's all pat ourselves on the shoulder. We're all doing great. We're exactly where we're supposed to be in life.
That's right. My numbers are low because they're the best.
Exactly.
I have a screening process, and if you don't, if you're not the best, you don't get in. So,
and I spread myself like this too much, and then I have comedy stuff and things. But it has been so wonderful to watch everybody, grow in this community, and hopefully. You'll be able to join me. I think Saturday. I talked to you. I'm going to do a little BB Besties over on my channel.
Yay! Let's do it.
And talk me, you, Jess, Busy, Josh from Couch Potato Queens.
We're going to celebrate.
Maybe some more people. Celebrate and just have a nice little gossip kiki about BB24 and life.
Yay. Thank you for this super chat too. We are both awesome. Thank you so much for acknowledging that fact of life. Thank you. Well, this was so fun. It's hard to ask Joleen to leave her big fancy channel and come over to mine, but I love that you did. Thank you so
Sarah,
much.
I feel like I put a sweater on. I watch my language. I get to talk to my friend Sarah, who I adore, but I also get to be more professional. I get to practice not getting up and twerking. Strategy,
Uh-huh.
which mostly I'm talking about, can you believe this person said this? And let me act it out. And here's what happened here. So this is awesome for me. Whenever I get invited to Nerdtainment, I tell myself, be on your best behavior, Joleen.
You are.
You know?
You always are.
I don't want to ruin Sarah's channel.
Yeah, somebody was like, why'd you bleep out what you said last week to Nicole? And I was like, have you seen my channel? Like,
yeah, that's not Sarah's brand, is to just potty mouth. Now, if you want some Effenheimers, come over to me. Come over to me.
Yep.
See, we all have something to offer.
That's why. Share the love. See?
Exactly.
That's right. Well, everyone in the chat, we love you guys as well. Thank you for hanging out with us. Giving us super chats, but also making us laugh and keeping us updated on the wall and all of that jazz. And if you're joining later, please leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about Elvis is out. Let me know if you have any questions you want me to ask him in the morning. And what do you think about this twist coming up? How's this going to work out?
I'm so nervous for you for your interview, and you're going to kill it and you're awesome, but I'm just thinking like, oh my God, he's so horrible and you have to interview him. And
and I have to be like, hey, how are you?
Do you have to,
so lovely.
Now, do they leave right away and go to another? There's no like weird small talk in the beginning or end. They just kind of join, hello, do your questions and then leave.
There's like a little bit of small talk because it's all through Zoom, right? So they just sit there on Zoom and there's a PR person with them. And then they're like, hey, Sarah, come on in. And we have to click a couple buttons. So it's like, hey, how's it going? Click, click, click. So good to talk to you. Click, click, click. And then it's like, so you said this.
Oh my, I cannot wait to watch your interview. Do you know how much time you'll have? Like a couple
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
That's because they're all over the place.
So many. Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, how long do I really want to talk to him?
No, I'd be glad to only have 5 minutes because that's everybody check back tomorrow because Sarah is going to have the interview with Daniel Tiger right along.
It's just going to be like 4 minutes of me telling him all the things he heard that were not true. And then
Sarah,
I'll just
that would
be like,
amazing.
Anything thoughts about this? No, that's a waste of 4 minutes. But I got to throw in a couple of those, right, guys?
Yeah.
Just a couple.
I think that's a good idea. Is like, you thought this, but actually this was happening. Now that you're getting out of the house and you're seeing things for what they really were, like,
right.
How do you feel about that? Because there's, I even saw the not the winner's circle, but the other one with Rachel and Jason. Right. And they have Chada on there. I was proud of them. And I give all credit to Chada, where they were kind of holding their feet to the fire, and Nicole in her interview on things, that were said and things that were true versus things that weren't, because it's one thing to be in a house and think, someone said something and like, I don't like her. But it's another thing to spend an entire summer saying horrific and disparaging things about another individual who's not doing the same to you. And it really appears that you are just being mean to be mean.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's tough.
Oh.
He's going to have a journey ahead of him.
Yeah.
For sure. Whether he takes it or not, but he's got one. Jay, Elvis has left the building. Yes. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, guys. All right. Well, everyone, have a wonderful night. Yes, I will have Daniel's interview in the morning, and then I will have the challenge recap with Chantel on Saturday. And then am I coming to you on Saturday? Is that what you said?
Yes, I have to pick a time that works for everybody. I'm trying to work around people's calendars. Now you're not a Sunday girl live, right? That's your day off.
I usually take Sunday off, but we can talk if that's the day.
Okay.
I'll squeeze you in.
Oh my God, I feel so special. Thank you, Sarah.
Just make me put makeup on a Sunday. And like,
oh my God, you look so good. And I miss you, David. I feel like I haven't talked to David for a long time. So
I know. Well, he's with his family right now. But I will tell him you said hello. And are you going live right after this, or what's your next?
I'm probably gonna have to now to celebrate the Taylor thing. So I'll make a live if you guys want to join me and hear me say the F word and stuff. I'll be over there doing that. But again, Sarah, I'm so excited for your interview tomorrow. I'm like gonna wake up giddy for everyone's interview, but especially yours because you're my girl. So
thank you for all the love. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.